It's live. Hey, Internet friends, this is Magic Brad, Asheville, North Carolina, and doing another Synergy Cafe Hangout on air. And I've got a guest, and I can't remember now. He told me this morning if he's from New York or he's from Florida, but someplace on the East Coast. New York! And there it is, Iman. And how do you say your last name?
Khan.
Khan, K-A, like Khan, like the Wrath of Khan.
Like the Wrath of Khan, correct.
Got it. So we're going to be talking today about events, which is near and dear to my heart because I produced my first event. I think I was like 10 years old. I did a little magic show in a garage. Awesome. So about event marketing. And first off, Iman, I asked the questions of who, what, where, when, how, and why. And the first question is, who are you? Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. Thank you for the introduction. Like I said, my name's Iman. Iman Khan, and I own a company called Red Elephant. And do you want to know more about me or more about the company?
More about you.
Me? Okay, I'm 36 years old. I'm a dad. I'm a husband. I co-run my business with my wife. Her name's Afreen. And we've been best friends our whole life. We've been roommates, and we went to college together. And then somewhere in our late 20s, we decided we liked each other and got romantic and got married. And we have a 4-year-old son who's the best thing about our life, and his name's Gibran, and we're small business owners, and we live in this is probably why you got confused, Brad, because we actually do live in New York right now, and we're moving to Florida by the end of the year.
See? Psychic.
So, and I think I mentioned that to you, which is probably why you didn't know whether we were in New York or Florida, and we've been traveling back and forth. I was in Florida as recently as yesterday.
You don't stop and visit us in Asheville once in a while?
I know. I've actually never been to Asheville, North Carolina, but I've heard I need to go.
You'd like it. It's groovy.
Yeah.
So the second question is what, and that's you started into that, is what is it you do? And that's the event stuff.
Yeah.
Red Elephant.
We own and run Red Elephant, and it's got several different legs to the business. One of the things that we do is we produce 1-day and 3-day marketing events for our clients. So our clients come to us. They are mostly coaches or business-to-business service-based entrepreneurs, and they come to us and they tell us that they want to do an event where they get to teach their magic and teach their unique gifts to their ideal audience, and then make some sort of offer into their coaching packages or products at the end of the event. So we help them actually do all the sales and marketing strategy to fill the event. Then we have a trained staff that produces all the logistical needs for the event, and our clients are making. Last year at one of our 3 days events that we produced, the lowest amount of money someone made was about $180,000. So our clients are making a ton of money from these events we're producing with them, and
events
the 1 days. Yeah. It's a great model.
The video things, this is the closest we can get to a real event. It's not quite the same, though. It's so that's the what it is you do. The next question is, we'll get into all details and stuff a little later, but where do you do it? Do you do it primarily locally or here in the United States or where you're based, or will you go anywhere if they've got a budget?
Anywhere if they've got a budget.
Okay.
Currently, we're all over the United States. We haven't done anything outside of the United States yet, although we've got a couple of things on the table one is actually in Singapore, one's in Australia, and one's in London. So I think we're about to start. Oh, that's not true. We actually did our first live event in Canada yesterday.
Da-dang.
So I forgot about
international. You're international.
Yeah, we're international. But everywhere.
I know it's a lot different when you go to a different country. They got a whole bunch of different rules as far as like fire and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and the markets are also different. The way people buy and the way people engage, it's also very different.
Okay, and then the next question, who, where, when, and how? How do you do your work?
Mostly so there's a couple of different ways we do it. So there's our private clients who everything is virtual until we go on site for the event. But then there's also, we run a mastermind of people who are not quite ready to do their own events, but they know that they want to. So we have a 6-month speaker and live intensive mastermind where people come and we train them for 6 months to actually get them ready for the stage. So those intensives are done live, and then the teaching's done virtually in between the live intensives. And then there's another category of people who don't really need to hire us for everything, but they know they want our strategy. So we'll do like 1-day long sessions with them where they actually can download our strategy and implement it with their team.
Okay, that's powerful because I know a lot of people try and take on producing their own event. In fact, a lot of times, like magazine publishers, they'll try and do their own event, and usually it fails because they have an ulterior motive of getting advertisers, and they don't really know how to do an event because that's a whole
Sure.
other animal. So
Yeah,
that's good for like artists and coaches and things of that sort. They should stick with their teaching and coaching, and then outsource to someone like you that knows how to get the event done.
I absolutely agree.
Of course you do. It's your money. So the last question, and this is my favorite question to ask, and that is why? Why is it that you do this? Why aren't you like, why don't you have a landscape business, or why aren't you working as a barista at Starbucks, or why are you in the event business?
Sure. Before Afreen and I started our business, one of the things that we were just crystal clear about is that we wanted to make the biggest difference possible while we're alive. We wanted to reach as many people as we could, make a huge difference for them, and we really looked at who, if we're able to touch them, would go and do the same thing. And no matter where you looked, the people making the biggest difference on the planet are entrepreneurs. Whether it's a huge multi-million-dollar entrepreneur or even the small entrepreneur who's got a $100,000 business that he's running out of his home, right? Wherever we looked, the people making the biggest social impacts and the biggest differences on the planet were entrepreneurs. So we decided that the people we want to put money in the hands of, because we know they'll do the most good with it, are entrepreneurs. And there was no real medium where we could reach as many entrepreneurs as we wanted to make that difference as live events.
Got it. Do you know the name Eric Worre?
I don't.
Okay, he's a friend of mine from Minneapolis. He's a network marketer. He used to be a network marketer, but he retired from all of that, and now what he does, he teaches network marketers, and it's his same kind of passion as entrepreneurs. He believes the entrepreneurs are going to change the world. They're going to start being self-employed, and people won't have to worry about the unemployment rate because we'll all be doing our own deal.
Yeah, and we employ a ton of people too. I mean, it's not we could talk about this for hours, right? But
I'm totally against being employed. I mean, I have never been employed myself, but some people, that's what they want to do, is have a job.
Sure.
And that's fine, like the roadies, and somebody's got to lift those big crates out of the truck, right?
That's right, they do. So I'd love to know your friend. I'd love to know more about him.
Yeah, I'll send some email about it. He does huge events, very high ticket. In fact, this is probably a connection. He does very high ticket events, and it's something I want to talk to you about too. Is these like retreats in Costa Rica and things like that, where I would like to work with like coaches that want to do some kind of exotic retreat in Bali on, say, yoga, or some like a real estate conference on how to buy real estate in Costa Rica. I'd like to help that person do that, and I know they should not be doing their event. Someone like you should be doing the event, and then that's how we get the people there.
Yeah, awesome.
So, speaking of events, do you have anything coming up? I'm assuming you've got some classes, workshops, or maybe even conferences or something coming up.
We do. We have our signature 3-day event where we teach people how to actually use speaking and live events to grow their business. The outcome of the event is that people really know how to go wherever they are in their business currently to adding 5 or 6 figures to their bottom line through using speaking and live events. And that's taking place in Orlando from July 31st to August 2nd. And we also have a couple of local events here and there. We're doing a speaking tour. We actually were just in Tampa yesterday. We were in Chicago in May, and we're going to be in New York on June 21st. And then Orlando again on June 28th. We're doing just one-day events about, again, speaking and connecting and converting and cashing in from the stage.
Are these closed events that are for you and your clients, or are they open if someone was from United Kingdom or something and says, I want to come here?
No, they're absolutely open events, and I can provide you a link where people can register if they'd like to. But they're open to anyone.
I'd like to publicize them on my Synergy Cafe website.
Absolutely.
Just let the world know, because I'm an advocate of events myself.
Yes, I know.
Although I did retire from the event industry because I know it's stressful. I don't know
you did?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I shared my story, and I don't want to take up your time, but in a nutshell, I used to produce about 10 home improvement and design expos and health and wellness expos a year. And
yeah, I remember.
Expos is stressful. And I had a TIA, which is a transient ischemic attack, or a mini stroke.
Wow. I
I had
didn't
a
know that.
handful of business cards, and my arm went limp, and I thought, what the heck was that? And I talked to Monica, my wife, and she said, "You're talking funny." I go, "What do you mean I'm talking funny?" And I had a stroke, a mini stroke.
I had no
And to
idea.
me, it was a shot over the bow saying, because what I was doing is I was eating Egg McMuffins 3 times a week, and I was running doing events on the weekends, and
Sure.
6 in the morning, 6 at night, stressed out. I thought I was healthy, but so when that happened, I told my business partner I'm going to resign, and I decided I don't want to produce events because it's too crazy, and I decided to go online. So now I'm connecting with people all over the world, and I'm promoting things as opposed to producing them because, as you well know, it's stressful.
Yeah, and it's really great that you say that because you, as a seasoned event producer, had that level of stress that you were dealing with. So when people who don't know how to produce events successfully get into the event production game,
Well, that's the one cool thing about events is it's always a surprise.
yeah,
And I did an event once with the Commodores, and we had this. The theme was the Blue Danube, and we had food and stuff along this makeshift river, and that was the idea. And 5 minutes before we opened the doors, somebody kicked over a 5-gallon pail of water.
wow.
So we're out there with mops and towels and napkins and
Yes,
so
I understand.
I'll delegate that to someone else, possibly
Yeah.
you.
Awesome.
So this is fun talking about the event stuff because my background, I used to do those muscular dystrophy carnivals when I was a kid, and we used to turn my garage into a haunted house or into a
Wow.
movie theater and play the old Super 8 movies and charge people a quarter to come and see it. And
Wow.
I've always been doing events myself.
Yeah, it's in your blood.
Yeah, well, I got rid of it. I don't want to do it anymore. That's cool. It's good to. I mean, we got some chance to talk at some conferences and stuff we've been to, but
Yes.
now it's that's what's cool about this who, what, where, when, how, why thing. Learn a lot more.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
You have a mission to help people with their events and make an impact. And like you said, live events. I think that's when you can get your message in front of 500 or 1,000 people all at once and make a profit. I used to make 40 grand off my event planner expo, and that was my lead generation for my magic gigs. I had
Sure.
I had 2,000 event planners from Cargill, Medtronic, 3M, Honeywell coming in, filling out a little form, telling me how much money they got and where they want to spend it and when they want to spend it. That was my lead,
Yeah.
and it was quite a machine.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, as you know, people. I mean, the internet's great, and we do internet marketing. Internet marketing's fantastic, right? It is the future, and there's something about a live event that gives people the opportunity to really just engage face to face, in person.
Well,
That's
part of my agenda is to get the online chatter and bring it back into real life activity. So it's things like this that will bridge the gaps of people across the world. They are capable of finding this video on YouTube after I upload it to YouTube. I
sure.
propagate it on my blogs, and they bump into it. And you never know who. Someone from Singapore might have seen the keyword and typed it in. Singapore events, red events, and who knows?
Sure.
You pop up, and that might make that connection. And
Awesome.
then there'll be real people live in person at a real live event, and that's where it all goes. So I like to keep these things kind of short, and we've been on since 11:15, so we've got another 10 minutes or so to
Great.
talk about other things. Do you have any questions for me?
Uh, no, I mean, I just
No.
I have no questions for you. I love doing this with you, though, and I really am appreciative of the opportunity.
It's fun. I like to do these kind of things. Like I said, it does get an opportunity to almost connect. It's not
Yeah.
like being live, but
Yeah, I feel
the
like
other
we're.
side with this is nobody can interrupt us either.
Yeah, that's the nice
Just
part, right?
we can knock them off if they do.
Although I do have a 4-year-old running around here somewhere, so.
Say hi. So if
Yeah.
you want, we can cut this shorter. That's fine, and maybe do another one a little bit later on. Maybe hear the results from some of your events. Maybe even some testimonials from some of the people that have experienced them. We could get on and do another one. But what I do with these is I then, like I said, put them up onto the internet and propagate them around, and I'll send you links to some of them on My Synergy Cafe and
Sure.
some of the other websites I've got. And if you would then send me some of the links that are relevant to what we talked about, I will put them on and do what I do and propagate them to the internet.
Great, I would love that. So I'll go ahead and send you some links, and then yeah, happy to do another one that talks about results or testimonials or
Okay.
can give people an actual feel about what people produce, both in working with us to produce their live events, and then also just we have a lot of huge, amazing results that our participants in our speaker mastermind produce. Like
Well,
they're
I'm
actually
not far from you either. I'm in Asheville, and what's like 9 hours to Orlando. Who knows? We might drive down there and come to your event and
I would love
do
it.
some on-site stuff with the iPhone.
I would love it. I've
Magic
been
Brad
courting your
reporting
wife,
live.
Monica, to come down to the event and be a part of it. So I would love to have you guys there.
I'll put a bug in her ear.
Yeah, plant it. I'd love it.
Okay, well, this is Magic Brad, Nashville, North Carolina, on Synergy Cafe, and Iman Khan with Red Elephant Events. And appreciate it, Iman, and we'll do it again sometime. If you want to hang on a little bit later, we can chat, but I'm going to stop the broadcast.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brad.
Thank you.